Good morning, friends. Hello, hello. Good morning. How are you this morning? Hope you're doing great on this chilly morning. It is cold all over, it seems like. We have, even though it is only late fall, we still have a few more weeks to go before proper winter. Looks like the season has found us, whether we like it or not. Good morning, friends. How are you this morning? You're doing great. Hey, Vicki, good morning. Good morning, all. Hello, hello. Hello, friends. It is a busy season here. Lots happening. Little hard rock action this morning. Mug up. We had a great time at the holiday parade. We got to be a living nativity with some of the folks got to represent as First Congregational. It was great fun. Thank you so much to our friends here in the city, Vietnam Veterans of America Association here in the city, and the Wall Committee, and particularly Bill Damaris and Paula and all of their support that we got to ride with them. And it's just so much fun, handing out candy and encouraging people. So such a good time. So hopefully there'll be some pictures up here later today in our post. Good morning. Hey, Sharon, Making of Christmas. Oh, I'm so glad. If you haven't had a chance to see Making of Christmas, it's on Amazon Prime. I encourage you, give it a watch. It's a terrific film. It is just, I got a chance to chat with the maker of it for a while, and just a true project, a passion project. So great to see you all here this morning. All right, let's get going. It is the 9th day of December. We are a week and a half into December, friends. Can you believe that? It is the 9th day of December, and on this 11/11, and I'm glad that you're here with us on this Tuesday. It is the beginning. We are in Advent now. This is the season of Advent, these 25 days that lead us up to Christmas Day, to the birth of Christ, and this time of waiting and watching. But Advent really just means beginning. It's why we take it from the word adventure. Like if you think about the word adventure, then what's at the beginning of it? Advent. So when we think about this next year coming, this next year of our theological life together, our next year of our walk with Jesus, what we need to remember is that baked into this thing, as we step out through the door, what we come out to is an adventure. There are no experts on the future. We do not know what is going to happen. And in some ways, when we talk about faith, there's this way in which when we're supposed to have faith, we're supposed to consider it in this way of like, no matter what happens, we will have faith. We will be certain. We will be ironclad in our whatever comes to pass. And I don't know about you, but that's not really my experience. That in fact, faith actually looks a lot more like our entry into the preparation for that which is to come. That's actually what it looks like. It's actually about being ready for, about entering into the things that are to come. and that uh, uh, the book of Hebrews says it this way, that that faith has these components to it. They have these pieces to it, and that we can hold on to them, and we can actually exercise them. We can use them, and we can see in our world people who have and what they experience of that is like, and take courage from that. So this is from Hebrews 11, verse 1. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, and the conviction of things not seen. The assurance of things hoped for, and the conviction of things not seen. Friends, as we start out on this adventure, that means that great and wonderful things are going to happen. That also means terrible and difficult things are going to happen. This is the nature of adventures. And we find ourselves in this Advent season, this season of waiting for the birth of Christ, knowing that we enter into this in faith, in the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. And it's powerful how we find this and where we find this in life as well. There's a great book called Living Above Living Above the Level of Mediocrity. It's an old Chuck Swindoll book. In it, Bruce Larson tells this story about when he was a small boy. He says, "When I was a small boy, I attended church every Sunday in a big Gothic Presbyterian bastion in Chicago. The preaching was powerful and the music was great, but for me, the most awesome moment in the morning service was the offertory, when 12 solemn, frock-coated ushers marched in lockstep down the main aisle to receive the brass plates for collecting the offering. These men, so serious about their business of serving the Lord in this magnificent house of worship, were the business and professional leaders of Chicago. One of the 12 ushers was a man named Frank Loesch. Frank was not a very imposing-looking man, but in Chicago, he was a living legend. For he was the man who stood up to Al Capone. In the Prohibition years, Capone's rule was absolute over Chicago, and the local and state police, even the FBI, were afraid to oppose him, no matter what you say about Eliot Ness. But single-handedly, Frank Loesch, as a Christian layman, and without any government support, organized what was called the Chicago Crime Commission. They were a group of citizens, they were simply a group of citizens, that were determined to take Mr. Capone to court and put him away. During the months that crime commission met, Frank Loesch's life was constantly in danger, and there were threats on the lives of his family and friends, but he never wavered. Ultimately, he won the case against Capone, and it was the instrument for removing the blight of the city of Chicago. Frank Loesch risked his life out of his faith. Each Sunday at this point in the service, my father, a prominent Chicago businessman himself, never failed to poke me in the side and gently point out Frank Loesch with pride. Sometimes I'd even catch a tear in my father's eye. For my dad and for all of us, this was and is what authentic living is all about. I so love that story because I think it is this living embodiment of what we talk about when we talk about how faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. And that the way in which for Frank Loesch lived that out in Chicago, and the way that and not just the way that he lived that out, but the way in which that he encountered and organized against the bad guys of his day, but the ways in which that inspired all of those around him, and even this little boy sitting in the pews with his dad. I think when we think about our own faith, I think it's so helpful, perhaps, to think of it in this Frank Loesch sort of way, to understand that whatever Al Capone you're facing. Maybe you're facing a health issue. Maybe you're facing maybe you're facing material challenges. Maybe you're facing relationship challenges. Maybe you're facing all of them. Maybe there's some part of this Advent season, this adventure that we have now entered on, that is going to be more about dismal swamps than mountaintops right now. But whatever it is that we can hold up in thanksgiving, and whatever it is that we must endure in our efforting, that in all of it, we can continue to live in faith with the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. And that when we do this, when we step into this reality, there is a way in which the whole world, the whole universe is transformed. We don't just do it for us. We don't even just do it for Jesus. Like, if Jesus wants a world made right, Jesus will make the world right. Jesus invites us into the making of the world right, so that in the making of the world right, we are made right too. So that we might share in that joy, so we might share in that victory, we might share in those accolades, we might share in that joy, we might share in that courage in the face of difficult and scary things. We might share in that hope in the face of that which would offer us despair. We might share in that conviction in the face of that which would make our knees weak and waver. Because the reality is that as much as we often can think about that when we step out on our adventure, and particularly when things don't go the way that we want them to, that we are all alone and lost in our storm. But often it's much more, particularly as we get ready for this winter season, it's much more like the young boy who wanted so desperately to set off for a party, but it was a blinding snowstorm. And even though his friend's house and the party house was just a few blocks down the street, his father was reticent to let him go. He said, "But Dad, everybody's going to be there. And if I don't go to my friend's birthday party, I won't be able to give him his present. I won't be able to celebrate with him. Please let me go." And so his father bundled him up, and the boy set off to the party. Even though it was only a few blocks away, he let him go. And the boy trudged through the snow with the blinding, with the snow swirling around, and he finally got to the door, and he knocks on the door, and just as the door opens and the party begins, the boy looks back and sees at the end of the walkway his father, who watched over him the whole long walk, making sure that his son got to his appointed party. And this is Christ walking with us, friends. That we walk sometimes through some storms, sometimes through some real cold, that the adventure of this life brings with it wonders, and it brings with us challenges. But in it, our Father in heaven walks right with us, walks right behind us. The one who wants to give us all good things and make sure we make it to the party. The one who wants to defend us from all monsters, from Al Capones to dragons themselves. That in all of it, there is his presence. There is his wonder. There is his love for us. And that this is truly the faith, which is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. Peace and grace to you all, my friends, and we'll pick it up tomorrow with another 11:11.